is the proper way to start it, I guess.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? For the fourth month already, April 2nd, 2018, we're coming at you. We watched a bunch of stuff, and now we're going to talk about that stuff. Did you watch everything?
Sure.
Including getting caught up on Alienist?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Come on.
But it was the finale. Why didn't you get caught up for the finale?
I just didn't have time. I'm like 6 episodes behind.
I mean, you did that to yourself.
Yeah, and it probably would have been easier if it wasn't on these goddamn apps that have commercials. I ain't got time to spend an hour on every episode.
I hear you there. And that's, did you get my last message?
Something. I don't know. Something about you loving Legion. That was the last thing I saw.
It was that we're buying season 2 because I'm not fucking dealing with any half-assed apps.
That's usually what I do. That's what I did for The Terror, and when I want to watch a TV show, I pay the $12 or whatever on Amazon and just buy it. But
nice. Yeah, it was like whatever my half of it is, I'll pay for it. So I'm down. I'm fucking excited about Legion. Like, no joke. You sent me the message about Ready Player One, the chick being in the indie you watched last week.
Yeah.
And like a bunch of other random shit. But like, I rarely get mail. And like, I got some stupid magazine the other day and like randomly flipped it open to that stupid Legion ad, and I was like, shit, hello there. Ripped it out of the magazine, threw it in the magazine away, but I was like, little shit like that has been happening in the last few weeks, and I was like, I'm on board. I don't know who you're targeting, but it shouldn't be me because I'm on the hype train.
Yeah, but they need to target someone because you're a year behind.
Never again. Never a fucking again. This first season was so goddamn strong that I'm in the cult. I'm making the Kool-Aid. I'm everything.
Yeah, you're up in there for the Magic Man.
Magic Man is my new surrogate father. High praise.
That's weird.
It is. So let's back up a little bit. So we have Alienist finally wrapping up. I don't know. I think you'll really enjoy it, but for me, it kind of fell flat. That last half of the episode. Like I said, I think it's something you'll really get enjoyment out of, but for me, it just kind of, I don't know. It put a nice bow on everything that was just like kind of over it at that point, I suppose. But I still get that aesthetic from The Terror, so I'm on board for The Terror now.
Yeah.
I don't want to say any more about Alienist because I know you'll probably watch it. So
yeah, it'll be one of those things where like I'm not backlogged on a ton of shit, and I'll sit down and watch it all. But
right on. Yeah, I think all the actors were really fucking great in it. A lot of standouts that I didn't realize that I appreciated before the season, and like especially your favorite dude, Cool.
Yeah.
And
he's really good.
Yeah. So you catch him in other awesome things like Cloverfield Paradox, and I'm just kidding with that one. But there was something else that I was thinking of this last episode that I was like, man, I just need more of him in my life. So
he's the bad guy in Civil War.
That's what I was thinking of. Hang on, let me think of. Oh, it has to deal with terror, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But remind me of Civil War when we get to it.
Okay. Might check for the terrorist talk. Got it.
Okay. So that's about it for Alienist. Did you watch Black Lightning?
Yeah.
How'd you like it?
It's interesting. I think like we've talked about lately, like the family dynamic is so strong on that show that some of the other stuff just kind of gets lost to the wayside. So I thought it was weird, like we finally get back to Lala in this episode, and they're like, Tobias is gone. Wonder if he'll be back. And I was like, wait, what? Which Tobias? Like, we're kind of losing the plot thread on the villains a little bit, you know?
Yeah. It was also pretty weird that it came out that Gamby raised Black Lightning, but it kind of just never felt that way this episode. Like, it never felt like it before this episode. And, like, I guess that makes sense why he wanted to cut him out of his life after finding out that he was the reason that his father got killed and whatnot. But I don't know. That was really just a strange dynamic that just kind of hurt the plot more than anything to me.
Sure.
It was cool to see the second daughter check out her powers, I guess. That was the moment I was looking for from the trailers, is when she fucking freaks out and like goes all energy. So that was pretty cool.
Really interesting. We got a couple episodes left. I'm sure they'll figure something out, but
the way it seems is like she's going. It's gonna be like a Voltron situation where they all fucking hold hands to like kill. I'm hoping a Megazord somewhere.
Yeah,
like
sure, that's
when they brought up the fact that she's a generator and how Black Lightning uses his power is different from his other daughter too. And it's like, it seems like they're setting up like them holding hands situation to save the day at one point. So
I don't think it'll be like that lame, but sure.
I hope not. I hope I'm very wrong. We had another baddie reveal that was kind of like odd because that's the weird thing, is like they're in a couple episodes but they're spread so thin, like the villains kind of don't matter as much as they're telling the story of these superheroes just living day-to-day life, kind of.
True. Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. Did you grab anything else from the episode?
No, this honestly, like it was still good and watchable, but I felt it was probably one of like the weakest episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it was like it's kind of terribly written. Like when the daughter comes home after checking on the kids Gamby was talking about, and she's like, "Dad, those kids who got kidnapped 30 years ago. I went to check on them. I think they're there." And he's like, "Wait, you talk about those kids who were kidnapped 30 years ago?" I'm like, bitch, she just said that. Like, you need to write better. Like, somebody's slacking on this.
Yeah, that's something for sure. So I think that's it.
I was cool with like the Lala stuff. I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea that he doesn't give a shit about green light and wants just to get old drugs back on the streets.
Yeah.
Just bring back the slums.
When he's just like, that dude rolls in, he's like, I need $2 million for the cocaine. I was like, holy shit, Lala, what you doing?
I was also like, I am very interested in your business enterprises.
Plus, he's just like ripping people's ears off and then getting more tattoos of dead people's faces on him.
I don't understand the whole dynamic that they're playing with him, but I'm interested in Lala probably out of anybody on the show.
Yeah, no, I'm right there because I'm like, what are you guys doing? Because he's all like, just sitting in the club reading the Egyptian Book of the Dead for some reason.
Yeah, it's strange for sure. So then you want to move. Let's talk about Siren, because out of anything that surprised me the most was you texting me last night if I had seen it. So I'm only guessing there's a reason why. How awesome that show is.
Because that show is batshit insane. It's not good in any way, but like in the first episode, we get there's a very uncomfortable sexual assault scene against a mermaid. There's a vast government conspiracy against mermaids. There's talk of a mermaid genocide. Like, the show is just throwing it all fucking out there. It has like Cronenberg-esque body horror in it. Like, it's just bizarre. I don't know what the show is, but it is fucking just balls deep off the rails off the bat.
Yeah. I'm really digging it. Like, I love the design of the mermaids. Like, the way they transform, the way they kind of retain information, it kind of seems, and the way they're, like, finding the right people to help them with. It's just, I'm fucking sold on this show. And, like, it's only 10 episodes, I think, so.
Yeah, but it's bad. Like,
it is. It really is. That second episode, she just walks up to the line and is like, "Oh, you're definitely getting that American in a fight over this." All right, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, no one's a really good actor on it. They're all pretty bad. They dip in and out of weird accents all the time. The plot is just bizarre. Like, but it's just like, it's just bad enough that I need to kind of see what's going on with this shit show.
I totally agree. I think it's that it feels like a very nice train wreck out of everything we watched, and it's like it kind of meanders and everything. Like, this is just fucking hold on, because I have no fucking idea where it's going.
The closest kind of things in terms of like just like not being the show I thought it was going to be and going in these insane tangents, it reminds me of like the Vampire Diaries. How you're like, when you're like, it's gonna be just a weird romance Twilight, right? And then all of a sudden people have like vampire compasses so they can hunt down vampires, and it's just shit gets bizarre real quick, and they just burn through plot like crazy. Like, nice. I'm not joking. A guy walks into the goddamn antique shop in the show, and he's like, "What do you know about mermaids?" And she's like, "I don't know. How about that your family committed genocide against them?" And I'm like, what are we doing? What is going on?
It's something else. And then she went to the fish market, bought a shit ton of fish that she obviously just didn't give a shit to. Oh yeah, you remember how you were hungry? Fuck it. You'll come back, I guess.
And then like, she, at the end of the second episode, just grabs a dagger and starts walking off in the night to go murder people, I'm assuming.
Did she murder the other person? I guess we'll find out next episode. Yeah. This it's something fun and something kind of really crazy.
But like, I was looking into it because I was like, what the fuck is this? So like, I'm doing some searching, and like, apparently Freeform's done some weird shit like this before. Apparently they did like a 10-episode show about like a summer camp that has like a serial killer in it. Like, Freeform's just weird. I don't know what that show is.
Which is so wild from when we found out it was ABC Family last weekend. Or last week. I was like, there's no way this is going to be worth getting into. And then, like, just complete chaos. Complete chaos ensued.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, at what point...
We're giving it the 10 issue... We're giving it the 10 episode run?
I'm sure there'll be, like, a quick little, like, pop-in asides just going on. Like, the first episode opens with, like, these guys accidentally capture a mermaid, and one guy gets cut, and they're like, we need help, a crew member's injured badly, he got bit by something, and all of a sudden, a clandestine government organization shows up to save them?
Totally makes sense. Absolutely makes sense that these little small-time fishers captured this highly intelligent apex predator by random shit happenstance, and then one of them gets almost cut in half by its tail.
Yeah, and then the government is just trolling the Coast Guard's feed, being like, better go out. Like, the dude could have been like, he got bit by what? I'm not sure. Maybe it was a barracuda, and these helicopters, they roll in with fucking assault rifles, and they're like, oh yeah, he just got bit by a barracuda. It's fine.
You think he's turning into a mermaid himself?
I don't know what's going on because they're always making a point of something's going on with him, but not saying it because they keep showing him.
Oh yeah, I bet you the dude that got clawed in the neck. I bet you like by the end of the season, like he has to go into the ocean to like heal up at some point. Which was crazy because the second episode almost ended on the dude from the physical assault being killed, like had the same fucking gouges on his necks, and like the daughter just wasn't like, cover up your fucking neck.
No, of course not. Like, oh my god, it's sort of, and there's this one fisherman who just hates the lead character for no reason. He's just like, that fucker went fishing with us like for one summer and that was it. We can't fucking trust him. I'm like, what are you talking about? What is going on here?
It's the ridiculous amount of drama that I didn't know I needed in my life right now.
As long as they keep doing like weird horror-ish stuff, like I'm into it. Like they're shooting this like it's a goddamn fucking horror movie. Like they even do the whole like, the monster's watching the main character, and then the character turns around and there's no one there. It's just like they're
I'm so anticipating scares every fucking turn. It's like, don't do this, come on, but let's do this. So it's wild. I appreciate you checking it out, even though like I was gonna come here and be like, you really need to watch it, and you were gonna be like, I'm not gonna fucking watch it. I was like, I'll tell you how the 10 episodes are. So,
well, like I don't remember. I was watching something last night, and then I was like, opened Hulu, and it's right there on the main screen. I was like, well, it's right there. Might as well do it.
Oh, so it's on Hulu app too?
Yeah, at least those first 2 episodes were, so.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I figured it would be because it's the Freeform keeps advertising that it's Hulu, but I just got the Freeform app and just signed on like a regular one. That app actually works a hell of a lot better than the other ones we've been using, so.
That's good. It's always a gamble. We found with video apps for channels, like.
That's for damn sure, so. Anything else from fucking sweet ass Siren?
No, it's cool. You know, like her name is Rin, so that's really cool. Shows.
Yeah. It just gives you enough to keep. It gives you perfect amount that you're like, all right, let's see where this is going, and let's see where that's going. It's like, son of a bitch. So,
like, at this point in the show, they have 2 different fucking video accounts of a mermaid. Like, you could go public with this.
Fucking amen. So you want to talk terror, or you want me to gush about Legion first?
Let's do Legion and then into the terror. We don't want to do nautical themed horror back to back.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair. How fucking great is Legion still? God damn that show. I love it too goddamn much.
I think the finale is probably like one of the more straightforward episodes of the season, which is kind of a letdown, but
are you straightforward? Yes, but still utilizes like some of the insanity from the other episode. Like it is very meticulous about the little details that it shows off, and it's like fucking amen. Also, when she went through the laser beam, I don't understand what the hell that is about, but I want to know more. I'm assuming it's where she hides her feet from that one scene. I don't know.
You're so goddamn fucking obsessed with these feet. No feet at doors.
Because I don't know what's real anymore, and goddamn the spaceship steals them and it's bullshit. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah, finally, David's free of this parasite in his head and gets to be himself for like an hour, and then he gets kidnapped by a floating globe.
Fucking A. It was really cool. I just gotta go back to whatever the fuck I texted you, and it was like pure bliss, just from the get-go.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Boom Goes the Dynamite from Veronica Mars. Like, that Floyd though hit at the perfect moment. I was like, let's go save David, I guess, or we can just chill.
I was
let's
just like,
chill in his head
that's
for
that
the rest
shitty
of the
band was. Got it. Sure.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. No, it's so perfect. Like them going to like sitting in his memory bank, like just fucking talking over it with fucking zombie fucking Lenny.
Whatever the fuck Lenny became by the end.
Yeah, and then the Lenny and Sid hanging out in her head, like fucking.
I'm
so excited to see where
that Lenny really wasn't like defeated, but instead moved on to Oliver. Does that bug you that there's no closure on that narrative thread, or does it make you excited to see Lenny and Oliver on a road trip next season?
It's kind of sad and kind of heartbreaking because like there was that one moment that he's like, what if I do need you, and like what if we are the opposites that need each other, and like, and then you fucking see them show down in the hallway, and it is like the moon and the sun colliding, and like just such cool fucking imagery for this whole fucking fiasco. And Sid like basically stealing her out of his head by kissing him, and then fucking just passing him on from person to person, and like I was glad that Melanie didn't die, but it was fucking heart wrenching to like Oliver fucking remembers who she was, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go get that dame, and then fucking gets slammed with the Shadow King.
Yeah,
but I'm excited to see that fucking road trip for sure.
I'm so excited. Like, you couldn't put two more of like my favorite people together. Just Jermaine and Aubrey Plaza hanging out. Like, I'm down for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Tower of People that David made, like just I was like, oh fucking Lenny's gonna just tear everything up. Oh nope, that's David controlling himself, and like it was interesting to see him like, oh yeah, we should really fucking gather our resources because this is kind of almost out of my control. So,
I'm sure, like, knowing how you love like weird displays of power with pithy one-liners around it, like when he's just floating in the woods and he's like, "War's over if you want it to be." I'm sure you love that.
Dude, it's insane. Like, this show was perfectly made for me. Like, I love it. Like, it's so great. Him when he's talking to Sid, I think he was talking to Sid when he was like, he was talking to the one dude, and he's like, I was in that place for 6 years, and like now I've got control of it, and like now I can actually do some good with it. Like, it's strange to see a selfless mutant like that, and at the same time, like, he is this powerful and like actually could do some really good change. And then he gets kidnapped at the end. It's like, fuck, a giant fuck you to everything. Like, it builds you up in the worst kinds of ways because you're like, it just brushes that to the side and like, fuck it, we're gonna go this way. And it's like, alright, I'm down. So,
like I said, you're at least a year behind on everyone else. So you haven't seen a lot of the criticisms unless you've been digging into season 2 stuff. That's, how do you feel that the idea that this show is more style over substance?
I think for the subject matter, it has to be. Like, you want to be able to shoot, like, I can't think of any other mutants that you would see this almost manic switching around for settings and like reasonable, like, since they're in his head half of the show, like, I think it works so well. Like, we've brought this up Inception 100 times at this point, and it's like, it's taking the best parts of like different stories and using them so well, and like I think the fact that it is style over substance, I guess, only adds to my desire to learn more about it. Like I wouldn't say necessarily there's great character development until it's put into action, like that last episode when he's like, I could really do some change. Like then you can look back and see like along the way like how he wants to do good, but he's still scared of that the Shadow King in his head. Like I'm interested to watch this season again already. Just to see like all the little nuances that like, because I think it's beautifully written in the fact that like I think there's little subtle cues to make this rewatchable for sure.
Yeah.
And I think you said this is what your third time watching through?
Yeah, not because I'm like I need to dig in and find, but it's like
Oh,
I
no.
watched it by myself, and then like I made Hannah watch it, and ended up watching it with her, and then I made you watch it, and so
I mean, this is fucking dope. Like, it's just a fun fucking show. Like, that first episode, you get the dance number, and like, when he meets Oliver, and he's fucking just talking about jazz, and like, it's just such beautiful insanity. If Siren is just this amalgamation of a train wreck, like, this is the most beautiful fucking scripted train wreck that like I would love watching over and over. So like, and plus I have no idea who this Legion guy is, but I'm interested in the idea that he is schizophrenic but also has powers, which one of his or a couple of his personalities can control, has a good vast majority of that control over that power. So
no.
And plus Lenny's fucking incredible, just watching her like know what she is and do what she does. So
now do you understand how sad it is to see like Dirty Grandpa and see Aubrey Plaza have
dude, not joking. I was looking for great gifts of Lenny and I saw one of from I was like, ooh, yeah, I still hold myself accountable for that bad judgment call. So I apologize again.
Yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow, season 2.
I'm fucking down. I'm so excited. So then, going to Terror from AMC. Like I said, it's got that great aesthetic, like the 1800s, right?
Mm-hmm.
That old, like, just old world style look. They're just on these two boats, hanging out, getting through this ice stuff, and I dug it. So coming back to the Civil War reference, the one thing I don't like about it is there are so many characters on this show that it's hard to keep straight who's who, other than a few distinguishing members. Like the captains, I know who they are, but almost everybody else is just in this mix of sea, like, of faces.
Sure. Yeah. I've read the book that this is based on, and I couldn't tell you any character's name. I just got to be like, okay, yeah, the dude who played Caesar in Rome, he's the main captain, and the Jared Harris from Mad Men, he's the second of the other on the other ship, and then the dude who played Brutus in Rome is the second in command under that.
I started flipping through a couple of characters and saw that a bunch of them were on Rome, and I was like, oh yeah, I bet you're going to bring that up. So, yeah, I think that economy works well. I feel like it's going to be horror-esque, especially with that Eskimo whole plot. Like, I'm literally looking forward to this show.
Yeah. It's very pretty. AMC dropped some fucking money on this show. Great actors. It's a really slow build at the beginning. And that's crazy for like when like the first episode ends, and then when you come back to the second episode, it's like 8 months later. You know, like there's huge swaths of like time jumps here,
Hmm.
and it moves slow, but it's a mini series. They're doing the whole book in this first 10 episodes. You know, it's a one and done mini series. And shit's gonna get crazy.
I almost kind of don't want to hear that ever. From the one dude that died and like he saw whatever that vision of whatever the hell that was, and it's like fucking A. But then the polar bear attack, I was like, oh, that's just a giant goddamn bear. So it's
Oh yeah, when the guy died of consumption and he saw like the Eskimo vision spirit or whatever. Yeah.
So
They go out to the fucking cistern to drop down a note. They come back and their boat's been wrecked. And then all of a sudden a giant fucking bear attacks them, and it's good stuff.
which is crazy. Like this is a very bingeable show just because it is that slow burn, and there's not a lot to think about. It's kind of it puts you on the edge of your seat, so you're like just holding your breath for the next shock thing to happen. So
yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, it's I don't know how you want to quantify it. It's historical fiction because like these ships there was the Terror and the Cerberus, and they went out and they were lost and no one ever found them. They found like the note they dropped in the cistern, and they found these little traces of them and whatever. So the guy wrote the book about like what would happen, you know, how these conditions, you know, what scurvy and frostbite and loss of food and stuff. Because I mean, you get it in the first episode when like it shows him talking to the Inuit person, and he's just like, we saw him. That, you know, he said everyone's dead. Don't look for us. And then it jumps 4 years back. So you know this is a story these people lost up there for like 4 years. So you know they're gonna go through some terrible conditions. It's crazy. I want to say it was like the book came out in like 2007. And I read it probably around 2008, 2009. And I want to say it was like 2013. They found those ships finally. Like, it's been that long. They fucking finally found them.
Oh, shit. Now I kind of want to dig into the history and, like, what, if anything, happened, like, once they found the boats. I don't know. I'm sure the show itself won't cover that because we're already in the past and, like, coming forward. But
it'll be interesting to see. Like, some shit happens. We're gonna say that. Like, once stuff pops off, like, the shit's gonna like. There are some sequences that like I read in the book, and I was just like, I can't wait to see them try and do it. Like, there's some cool stuff, and there's stuff that's like, goddamn, like nightmare fuel if they can do some of this stuff right, the way I imagined it in my head. But
I'm not gonna lie, I totally slept with my light on last night because of the fucking dude in the water that was reaching out to the other guy, and he's like, fucking pull me the fuck up! Fuck this shit! Yeah, like there's some... It's so creepy. Like the whole setting and ambiance of the show just puts you in like this really creepy, like hair-raising induced, like just coma for the show.
Especially like in the first episode where like I'm not even sure if you're like cognizantly aware of it, but like the sound design of like the ice moving and everything, and then it all of a sudden they drop all the sound out and it's just quiet. Like it's like unnerving, you know. And then you realize, hey, the flow pack, you know, we're on pack ice now. We're stuck, so
And I've got goosebumps just thinking of, like, just putting myself in the mindset of thinking about this goddamn show again. Like, it does a great job of getting you in that whole fucking ball of craziness.
Yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, if you look into it and stuff, like, these were like the most technically advanced ships at the time with their steam engines and propellers and stuff, and like they still got fucking rocked going up there. Like one, like I'm not cool with the idea of like the ocean, like looking around and seeing nothing but water. I'm not a fan of, and I'm also not a fan of like frigid cold. So, like, mix those two together, and I'm like, fuck all this. I would never like.
That's fair. It's fair and accurate. Yeah. So watch The Terror with us because just think about the fucking lineup we have now is fucking going forward with Legion, fucking Terror, Siren, and like just we've traded Cyberpunk from pretty decent thrillers.
Yeah, and I guess end of the month Westworld comes back too, so we'll get a little more back into sci-fi.
I gotta get through that first season. So
it's like 8 episodes, man.
I'm totally down. We're gonna watch 4. I'm gonna talk about it next week. The first half of it anyway. So
yeah, you're gonna jump in.
I'll watch 4 episodes for next week, and then the other 4 for next. So we'll get us ready. Did you watch Unsane then?
Did you?
I didn't. I haven't. It's nowhere around me. So
yeah, I figured once I saw like down here, it went down to like I think there's only 2 shows between all the theaters, and one of them's at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That one dropped real quick, but it's interesting. I don't want to ruin anything, but
okay. I mean, I'll definitely see it if I get the chance.
Thriller, you know, it's nothing to write home about, but it's got some interesting thematic stuff in it. But
yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it. If it comes close, I'm definitely gonna go find it. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about it a little bit more. But we get another thriller next week with Quiet Place, so I'm totally fucking pumped to be scared about that goddamn shit too.
It's supposed to be really good too. I'm excited.
I can't handle this. I can't handle being anticipating all this shit. Like,
just think about that. You are now anticipating horror movies, essentially.
Listen, it's not anticipating a horror movie. It's anticipating Emily Blunt because she's amazing.
No, because look at you. You're like, I'm down to watch Siren every week. I'm ready to watch The Terror. Like, I'm in for Quiet Place. Like, I'm
not a fan of you making me like this. But it's also cool, like, getting all these different angles of different storytelling and shit. So it is cool.
Right. You've kept your blocked off for too long.
I don't want to turn the corner to be one of those assholes that's like, that didn't scare me. I want to hold on to that little part that has to fucking leave a light on if I am that scared. So I hope I always retain that little bit. So that, moving into the main attraction, did you like Ready Player One? You didn't? Are you kidding me? I fucking I've seen it twice. I saw it earlier today. I fucking love it.
You fool.
It is, like I was saying earlier, like, this fucking movie was totally made for me.
Sure. Like,
what? I'm so interested to see what you didn't like about it.
It's hollow. There's nothing there.
Isn't there, though? Saving this whole clandestine thing from corporate takeover?
No, there's nothing there. The thing is, like, I'm not gonna fault anyone for liking it. Like, I understand why people like it, and I understand why people don't, because I'm one who doesn't. It's weird. I don't really know how to articulate, except to be like, there's a lot of avenues they could have done with this movie, and they really didn't do any of them, I guess. It's, I don't know. Like, I get that everything in the Oasis is essentially a video game, so it should look kind of cartoony. But because of that, everything looks kind of cartoony, so you're kind of at a withdrawal, you know? And, like, I don't know, the direction of everything's fine. I guess it's nothing to, like, scream home about. But, like, if you want to play fucking spot the Easter egg in that movie and that's your thing, I guess like you're gonna fucking love it.
See, I tried doing that with the second time watching, and I just got sucked into the story all over again, and I was just the idea of this guy that just basically put his brain into VR and let people just go through it because he was playing this game after he had passed away, like, it's just so engaging to me, I guess.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think there's like I said, there's stuff they could have talked about, but the movie ends up just being like this weirdly paced collect 'em up. It feels like when we're talking about Tomb Raider and we're talking about video games as an art form and a storytelling form, and how there's a connect between you when you're controlling the character, whereas this feels like I'm watching someone else play a video game, and like there's just nothing there for me.
That's really interesting. I felt the same way, and I am one that watches Let's Plays on, like, while I'm working and shit. And I always grew up and, like, watched my friends playing games rather than taking the controller and playing it for myself. Like, so from that angle, I loved it because it was just another, like, backseat driver situation and just watching their choices and decisions. So I could see why that would be very jarring to somebody that, like you, I know you play quite a bit, and like, fuck, it's been 2 years or better since I've played even Grand Theft Auto, so.
Yeah. I think I always hate playing the game of why didn't they do this, or you know, like I hate, like, I want to talk about the film as its own merits, but like I feel at times this rubs up against these ideas and then just kind of backs away. You know, you could get into the idea of like the Gamergate stuff and this gatekeeping within this nerd ecology that we live in. You know, like there's literally a scene where a guy is trying to get Parzival onto his side by quoting John Hughes movies and stuff, and he's just like, the roundabout way is it's not like I stand against you because you're an evil corporation. It's I stand against you because you don't like the things I like and you're a hater. Like that's literally the affectation and words he uses in that scene. So you could do some real interesting things about like the toxicity around like the nerd culture that there is. There's lots of opportunities to talk about like pop culture appropriation, like, you know, like I saw like there's a vocal amount of people out there talking about the idea that the Iron Giant, you know, in that movie, the whole point of the Iron Giant is he doesn't want to be a weapon, he doesn't want to fight, and then you have someone in this movie taking the form of the Iron Giant to fight.
Oh God.
So like,
see, I didn't even think about that, but like when he uses his laser eyes, it's like I remember that from Iron Giant, and like when he turned into a gun, he hated it so much, and it's like, yeah, that fucking, oh God, that really strikes me right now just thinking about it.
So like, so I understand the concept that, yeah, it's not the Iron Giant, but like you could say something about the idea of how we appropriate ideas and iconography and change it to our own way. Like there's stuff to be said, but they're just more in line of, hey, look, this is cool, right? You know, this character.
But do you think that's to Spielberg's credit or demeanor that like he's just trying to make a safe movie this late in his career?
I think from everything I know is the book essentially is just a laundry list of references like that. And it's like, I think like everything I've heard, like the story wise is like it's better than what it is in the book. But I think what people wanted from who knew the story and everything is they want that iconography, you know, like that's the selling point of it. So like I just think Spielberg made the movie that was based on the book the best he could. He could have ripped it apart and done things, but like I said, it's there. There's obviously some stuff that could have been touched upon, like, you know, talk about the idea like that this movie is essentially fucking like imagery porn for people our age and a little bit older. Like it
absolutely is. Like I'm so excited to draw the fucking DeLorean 3 or 4 times and fucking sell them at cons, and like all that shit was just when the Akira bike smashed on the screen. I was like, oh, this is blowing my brain. And like him fucking driving Bigfoot. I remember like growing up in the 80s and like the Bigfoot Gravedigger rivalry was so real, and like you don't see Bigfoot anymore just because he's not part of the, I forget what the monster truck group is, but like he's just not part of that. Like he's just his own thing basically. So
yeah, it's like it becomes more, like I said, of a laundry list of, hey, remember this thing from the 80s? I get the central concept that the idea, you know, that Halliday was in love with the 80s. He's kind of that age, so people trying to figure out where his keys are, like, want to learn the thing he loves. But it almost boils down to like, I love the things he loves, and if you don't love it, fuck you. Like there doesn't seem to be an autonomy between these characters deciding to actually like these 80s stuff.
Huh.
You know, like
that's interesting because like being a creator, like one of the things you have to go into is you have to make something for yourself first and foremost, because if you don't like it, no one else is going to like it. But if you do find the people that do like it, you're going to have very parallel thoughts and everything like that. So like, it's weird hearing you say bring up these things that I'm mulling around now. But I thought it was cool. Like, I'm glad they didn't rip this apart and make a 3-part movie or a trilogy out of it. I'm glad that it's just one storyline, and it's kind of weak character development, but I guess it's there. But it was cool seeing this story that played out in the past become this challenge to figure out who this person was that everybody was trying to emulate. And the fact that he enjoyed this so much, but he kind of hated himself for it because he lost touch with reality for the most part.
Yeah, it's, again, like, it's weird. There's stuff in it, like, I don't, as like, okay, I get it. It's a fucking story, and you could just write a line of dialogue being like, and it was a perfect running organism that never needed anything. But like, fucking really, like, the servers never need to go down for maintenance at any time. Like, people are always hooked into this. I don't understand the logistics of how, like, it started as some sort of virtual reality video game, but just became a worldwide, we can do whatever we want. Like how do I say, like, there's licensing fees. Like you couldn't just like make a Batman in there unless WB decided to give that game company
and Batman was fucking everywhere. There were fucking stickers plastered everywhere and everything else. Like,
yeah, because it's
crazy WB. To see.
I'm saying in the world of the game, though, like, if they built this single proprietary tech, someone couldn't come in there and be like, I made Batman now and we're making money off of it. Because, like,
well, I think it would be like add-ons to like a game now, or downloadable content. Like, you pay for any game that you play, like, it would go, a lot of that would be licensing fees. It was weird to hear video game creators talk about it on a podcast, because they actually did license some of their things for the shows. Like, I was under the understanding that they were just using it, and what the hell, like, but I mean, they did get a lot of the licenses for all this shit, and I couldn't imagine looking at that list of everything it was, because I'm still catching little itty bitty glimpses, like the second time, but like, again, I was sucked into the story that I was trying to look for some more stuff, but like, just failed and like watched the movie. So
yeah, it's weird. I just, there's a disconnect from me on it, I guess. Like I'm like, you know, that's, those aren't the Battletoads. Those aren't the fucking Ninja Turtles. Like, it's just someone using that avatar to play a video game.
The fucking Battletoads. 100%. Those were Battletoads.
Like, you know, in the opening narration, he's just like, "You want to climb Mount Everest? You can, and you can do it with Batman." But I'm like, it's not Batman. It's somebody dressed up as Batman. It's an avatar. Like, you're not climbing Everest with Batman. Like, fucking, what kind of world are they trying to sell us at? So it's really weird. Like, I find this weird disconnect on it. I also think it borders really close to one of my worst, like, the thing I hate in a lot of fiction, but you see it a lot in, like, the nerd ecosystem of, like, the casual objectification of women as a goal and a reward to win. You know, like, like, that's just such a dumb trope that I get. Film has a shorthand to try and do romance and stuff, but literally there is one part where, like, the quest prize, the thing you have to do is dance with his partner's wife who's dead, but he had a date with once because he felt he was in love with her.
Oh my god, no, but, like, I love that Artie was the first one to do that challenge. And then you see his AI, like, hand her the key, and, like, she wants to talk about it, but, like, he's like, this is fucking hard enough dealing with this, like, get out of here. And it's like, when he asks him at the end what he was, and it's like, that's the thing that I keep coming back to, like, what actually he was. Like, he wasn't a program, he wasn't an avatar, so he had to be the AI controlling a good heap of this. So, like, it's nuts. I love this movie.
I'm glad. Like, I don't fault anyone for liking stuff. Like, it's fine.
Did you have any favorite scenes that you used from the movie?
No.
Fucking Chucky going batshit was pretty fucking great.
Like, that stuff, it's just, like, it didn't do anything. It's weird. It didn't get me. Like, okay, favorite scenes, like, I think it's super weird that they do The Shining. Like, I don't know if I, like, stood out in a good way, but, like...
Okay, so I was absolutely H. I think I've seen the beginning of The Shining when I was young, so I don't think I've seen it the whole way through, but I want to say I read half of it in high school, but, like, shit got really real, and I was like, no thank you, Stephen King. So, like, going into that whole scenario, I was very much like H, and I was like, fuck this. And, like, I love how they turned it on its head, and, like, it was just the little puzzle inside of another puzzle.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. That's what I'll say. Because, like, I'm not sure. I'm 90% sure a lot of parts in that are literally film stock from The Shining that they just added digital characters into.
I think so.
So it's weird. It's fucking weird. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. The movie was innocuous enough that, like, I wasn't like rage, but I was kind of like everything just felt flat, I guess. You know.
That's fair.
Like, and that's like I've seen literally people be like, "Oh my god, the fucking the ship from Serenity flies in and a Gundam jumps out and fights Mechagodzilla," and I was like, "Yeah, I should think that's cool, but it kind of wasn't. I don't know."
I was all about it. I was like, Serenity comes to save the day? Fuck yes. And fucking he jumps from the... and you... There's so much I love about this movie. Like, it's probably going to be one of my top picks for the end of the year. Like, it just worked so well for me on all levels. And I went into it very much afraid that it was just going to be so much nostalgia overload that I just was going to not give a shit about it. But I think a lot of that is the trailer. Like, I feel like the trailers give away some really good points. Like, you see fucking Chucky tear it up, and you see that race like most of the race in the trailer, but I mean it was never in the book, so like I don't know. It's weird that like I avoid all these things so I don't have, but then I try to understand why they did the trailer like they did, but like I don't know. I'm glad it works for me.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Like, I'm glad that, like, I'm not glad. It's like, at this point, it's like, every 10 years, I come in and I check out Spielberg's work, and I'm like, nope, still not for me, and kind of back out.
It's fair. It's fair. It's good stuff. So what are we watching for next week, then?
Legion premiere.
Legion premiere.
Next episodes of The Terror and Siren.
Terror, Siren.
A Quiet Place.
Quiet Place.
And Blockers.
Blockers, huh?
Yeah.
The John Cena movie?
Yeah.
Alright, you're on. I'm down.
throwing down on this one. I think it's going to be good. Let's see if you go back to like 6 episodes ago where I was saying I hate comedies and I'm done with them. I'm trying again.
I did a terrible thing and I watched. I'm tiptoeing into the Rampage trailer and I think I've tiptoed too far into it that I think I ruined the movie for myself.
I'm glad. Maybe we don't have to watch it.
I'm pretty sure we're still gonna have to watch it. So, yeah, fucking watch all that shit and come back and talk with us about it next week.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I'm so excited about Quiet Place. I hate that you've done this to me. But I'm also appreciate it. Yeah. But fucking Legion, like next week, I'm so excited about talking about Legion and Quiet Place right now. Also, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to go back to like let's get through Legion, but I think after Legion we should definitely get back to some Twin Peaks.
Do you understand how hard it is that I've had that DVD set sitting over there since like September and I can't or December whenever it came out?
Like I was so excited after watching Legion. I was like, I got through the finale today and I was like, we should totally get back on fucking Twin Peaks. And I was like, let's ride out Legion because I know that's gonna be fucking a high that we're both gonna love. But then, yeah, I think it's definitely time after that.
Good. I'm ready for, again, sitting right there, I'm like, I can just open Twin Peaks. I can just get right back into it.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. So come back, watch all that shit, and then we'll talk about it next week. So peace, everybody.
Yeah, good.